Hello. So if you have clicked on this video, then you are looking for a little bit of extra help with if statements, and I can't say that I blame you. If statements are one of the most complicated things that we are going to talk about up today, and there's a major leap that happens between everything that we have been doing up to now, um, such as print statements, user input. Um, Math, all of that was pretty simple. Now we're asking our program to make decisions for us based on information that we give it. So this video is here to provide supplementary help. You can skip through parts of the video, you can pause as you need to, you can take a look at the code that I've written, do whatever you need to do. But let's go ahead and get started. So very first thing that we need to talk about is what can an if statement do for us? So let's take a very basic example. I'm going to say that x equals 10 and y equals 20. Before I continue, I'm going to hit Control S on my keyboard to save. And then I can go ahead and save this right here. I will call this Lesson 07 Sup for supplementary. So I will save it there. Boom. And now we're good to go. So x equals 10, y equals 20. And we know that this works as of right now because I can hit, again, Control Save to save it, and then I can hit my hotkey on my keyboard, which is F5, to go ahead and run this. Now, if you're using Replit, so with idle, it's F5. You want to hit F5, and that will run it. With Replit, if you're using Replit, you're going to hit Control, which is CTLR, and then the enter key at the same time. So if you hit control and enter while you're using Replit, that will automatically run your code because I like using keyboard shortcuts. But that's just to give you an idea there. All right. So x equals 10, y equals 20. And now I am going to say if x is greater than y, I want to print x is greater than y. Well, we'll leave them both lowercase since they are lowercase. So we save this, we hit F5, and boom, nothing happens. But something did happen at the end of the day. So we checked our comparison, and as a matter of fact, 10 is not greater than 20, right? So the way that we need to switch this is we can switch our two variables around, and then we can say, well, if we switch our variables around, that really doesn't quite work. Hold on. So we can actually say, well, we'll leave the variables as they were, and we will actually just flip our sign around. And then we can say x is greater than y. And when we run, we find, boom, x is greater than y. So that's one kind of comparison that we can make. Now, as I talked about in class, there's many, many different kinds of comparisons that we can make. There is less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. We can also ask if something is exactly equal to each other. So to give you an example of that, if we try and run this right now, we'll go ahead and change the statement. X is equal to y. So we're going to save, we're going to run, we're going to see that that's not true right now, right? 10 is not equal to 20, but say I change x to 20. I run again, and now I get that back out. X is equal to 20. And remember, this double equal sign is different, right? Different in the fact that double equals means we are checking if two things are equal to each other, right? I went off the screen a little bit, but then our equal sign is an assignment. In other words, we're saying, okay, I want x to be equal to 0. All right. Moving forward from here. So we have all of our basic comparisons. There's one other comparison I talked about in class as well, and that's this exclamation mark and then the equal sign. So let's take a look at that real quick and how that behavior works. So if I save and run this, we will see that my if statement doesn't run again, right? So we have x is equal to y. That did not actually run. One moment, please. There we go. And so The reason being is because that exclamation point and then equals is saying if x is not equal to y. So if I change my x back to 10, then I would run this and it says x is equal to y, but I should change that to not equal, and there we have it. So x is not equal to y, and that's why that runs. All right, let's get rid of all of this for now. And let's talk about this in relation to stuff that we have done in the past. So, for instance, I can say answer equals int. So remember, whatever we put in here, it's being converted to an integer. And then I'm going to say input. So that means I'm waiting for a response from my user. I'm going to ask, how old are you? Put space right after that. So we can save, we can run, we can see that this is already working. We can see that if I try putting in a word like hello, we get an error because hello cannot be converted to an integer. So we save again, we run, and my age is 23. I enter in 23. Boom, it works. Easy enough. We've done this before. Now, the cool thing is we can actually do something with this. So I can say if answer is equal, not is equal to, but we'll say is greater than 21, then we'll print out you are old enough to drink. All right, because the legal buying age is 21, so we're going to hit F5. The legal drinking age is 21, so I am 23 years old, and indeed I am old enough to drink. Now, there will be a small problem that we run into. Remember that when you turn 21, you can actually drink right away. So I'm going to say, how old are you? I'm going to say 21. I am 21, right? I am old enough to drink. Remember, we used our greater than symbol, right? Or greater than symbol, greater than symbol. Greater than does not include 21. We are looking for anything over 21. So in order to fix that, all we need to do is say greater than or equal to 21. So we run again. We can say F5, how old are you? 21. And now it will say you are old enough to drink. And now to verify that we have correct behavior, we will say that I am actually 14 years old. And then it doesn't say anything to me. So that's the basic idea of an if statement. Something else that I did show off in class as well, just to round everything out, is I can also say something along the lines of if 18. So we're gonna do something a little crazy here. Give me a moment to type it out. Answer 21. So I'm gonna need to flip these signs around. And we will print for not to drink. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So we have if 18, and then this is where it gets freaky, right? If 18 less than or equal to answer less than or equal to 20, right? That's really hard to read. So let's go ahead and try typing something in. So we're going to type in 14. We didn't get anything. We're going to hit, cancel. We're going to hit F5 again. We're going to say 23 this time. Again, we didn't get anything. Now, let's say that this time we hit F5 and I hit 19. Here we go. Now I'm getting some response. It says old enough for selective service, but not to drink, right? So if you're between the ages of 18 and 21, you are old enough to be drafted into the military. However, you're not old enough to buy alcohol. Now, the reason we're getting this behavior is because I have actually told Python, we're essentially asking it to perform two different comparisons. So the comparisons that we're asking it to do are, and I'm going to put this in a comment real quick. So 18 equal to answer, and then 21, and then we have answer 21. Hopefully splitting it up like this kind of shows off exactly what is happening. So we're checking that answer is greater than or equal to 21, and then we're also checking at the same time that answer is less than or equal to 20. I'm sorry, the top one is 18 less than or equal to answer. So we're checking that, and then the bottom one is answer less than or equal to 21. Now there is, again, an error in my running. and when I run this, right, because it says old enough for selective service but not to drink, but we just went over the fact that 21 years old is old enough to purchase alcohol. So what we can do is we can just get rid of that equals symbol, right? And now when we run, we hit 21. We're going to put in 21. Boom. Doesn't pop up, right? Because we can be 20, we can be 19, we can be 18, and that would be old enough for us to um, be in selective service, but not old enough for us to purchase alcohol. I hope that you are able to use this in order to assist you. I'm hoping to make more videos like this in the future, but don't expect too many to come out. Um, yeah, I hope that this helps. I hope this helps jog your memory and remind you how to use if statements. Remember that we can use multiple if statements in a row as well, right? So any if statement that we put down, so anything that we have tabbed over here, right? So if I say print check, and then I say print test down here, right? I'm going to save, I'm going to run this. So if I enter in 23, right, this isn't true, but because I backed this up, right, we don't have this space here anymore. Python says, okay, this is not a part of this if statement. You just want me to print the word test, just as in the normal course of running. So it looks up here, it says, okay, how old are you? Checks my if statement, finds that it's not true, and is going to skip everything in here and then come down to the next time that we have a non-indented line. Remember, this is an indent or a tab, and then this is not. And we can have another if statement, so we can have if something, and then if we put something down here and we tab it over again, then it will run again. All right. I'll leave you to your homework. Good luck. If you have any other questions, don't forget I am reachable by email, okay? Or you can always ask in class because I make this due the evening of next class. All right. I will leave it off there.